Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for calling in today. We had a bit of a delay with our technology again this time, but this time I think we've got it perfected to get us throughout the meeting. We have 315 attendees today. It is 12:49, and this meeting is hereby called to order in accordance with the special notice meeting of the special notice of the Board of Trustees. Thank you again all for attending. Before I begin, I would like to address some of the allegations that have been asserted against certain members of the Board of Trustees and myself. There is not, nor has there ever been, any effort to stifle the voices of our university community. The suggestion that I or other trustees have done so is upsetting and not true. I am a proud alumna of Lincoln, and since my graduation, I've been committed to the university and its future. I founded the Lincoln University Chamber of Commerce to create opportunities for students and alumni, personally funded a scholarship to help ensure the next great generation of Lincoln students, and just last year, I was humbled to receive the Alumni Medal of Distinction. I've been honored to serve on the Board of Trustees since 2014, and have been unanimously reelected to the second term as chairlady last year. For all of these years, I have done everything that I can to better Lincoln University. This year has was marked by truly unprecedented challenges. Unfortunately, the Board of Trustees' response to some of these challenges concern regarding the handling of these matters, and for that I apologize. But please know that the Board of Trustees has always acted with the best interests of the university in mind and in accordance with the university's policies, procedures, and traditions. Those outside of the Board of Trustees may not be aware that trustees have traditionally been seated during one of the regular meetings of the board, but due to the COVID pandemic, the board's regular meeting in April did not occur. Accordingly, certain individuals had not formally joined the board prior to July 10th, 2020 special meeting, and their seating on the board was not an announced agenda item for that special meeting. At the July 10th, 2020 meeting, which itself was fraught with technical challenges of a remote meeting attending with 250 plus attendees, instructions, So in summary, there was no obstruction, there was no malice, there was no effort to influence the outcome of the board's decision. Nevertheless, I understand that many of our university community were concerned about the processes that were followed. So we are here today to ensure that all voices are heard, and while there may be some differences of opinion, that we can all look to the future of Lincoln University together. As each trustee calls into this meeting this afternoon, he or she had previously received an agenda for the meeting and a copy of Judge William Mahone's order dated July 24, 2020, reinstating Dr. Brenda A. Allen to the office of President of Lincoln University, effective July 24, 2020. With all of the privileges and emoluments associated with such office and position, pending further action by the Board of Trustees, and establishing the only items on the agenda to be considered and voted upon at this special meeting. Further, each trustee has been provided with a copy of Judge Mahone's order dated August 4th, 2020, requiring that all business be conducted today occur in the public session. It is our intention to conduct this meeting today and in accordance with his order. It is our intention to conduct this meeting in accordance with both the July 24th and August 4th order. There will be an opportunity provided for public comment before any vote is taken on whether the university will enter into negotiations with Dr. Allen for a new employment agreement. The board will hear comments from the public. Attorney Collins, did you want to make any statement regarding that, or did you want to comment? Make any comments?
Yes, I did want to just give the board some very brief guidance in regards to the two orders. There was a lawsuit commenced in the Chester County Court of Common Pleas that Judge Mahone is handling. That lawsuit names the Board of Trustees. Judge Mahone, as Chair Lady Braswell has indicated, has issued two orders, one on July 24th and a subsequent follow-up order on August 4th. Pursuant to the July 24th order, Dr. Allen was to be reinstated as president effective July 24th, and that has occurred. Judge Mahone further ordered that the special meeting that was scheduled for July 31st be canceled, and that this new special meeting be scheduled for today, August 6th. Judge Mahone in his July 24th order was explicit that he wanted 4 issues addressed at this meeting. He specifically included language only. He only wants these 4 issues addressed during this meeting. Those issues are, first and foremost, the seating of the Commonwealth trustees to the board, along with the governor's designee. The second issue is Judge Mahone has ordered that the board reject the resignations of trustees Fitzgerald and Allen. Third, Judge Mahone has ordered that the board address the issue of whether or not Dr. Allen will be extended a new employment agreement with the university. Fourth, and this is only to the extent that the board decides not to extend Dr. Allen a new employment agreement, the board is to address the issue of an interim president. Judge Mahone did not give instruction as to how that vote on whether or not Dr. Allen gets a new contract goes. It's entirely within the discretion of the board to exercise its own judgment on that issue. Subsequent to the July 24th order, Judge Mahone issued an order on August 4th, 2020, which set forth some additional requirements for purposes of this meeting. First and foremost, Judge Mahone has ordered that the entirety of this meeting occur in the public session and that the board not retreat to executive session for any purpose. Judge Mahone has further ordered that Dr. Allen be permitted to participate in the discussions regarding whether or not she is to receive a new employment agreement with the university. However, Judge Mahone also recognized that Dr. Allen should not actually vote on the issue of whether or not she's to be extended a new employment agreement. My last kind of caveat or cautionary note was that we should follow Judge Mahone's order to a T and deal with these issues and only these issues during today's meeting.
Thank you. So before we proceed to the business of the meeting, I would like to make certain introductions. I would like to introduce and welcome our 4 newly appointed Commonwealth trustees. So your name is underneath your picture, but if you can just wave your hand, wave when I call your name, that would be great. The first trustee is Mr. Owen Cooks. Welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And the next one is Mr. Stephen Kenrick Lewis. Okay. The next is Charmaine Spence Rochester.
Good afternoon. I'm on the line.
Okay. Welcome.
Thank you.
And we on the phone.
Jose Sebastian is present. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I would like to introduce our governor's designee, Ms. Jalila Parker. You can wave your hand.
Good afternoon.
Okay. So all will be participating fully in this special meeting. We are being assisted today by representatives of Buchanan, Ingersoll, and Rooney, the university's outside counsel, with the operation of the Blue Jeans meetings video conference, and the firm will act as the host with any introductions and to give the speakers who sign up to speak during the public portion. The public will have interactive viewing and listening capabilities from their desktop, laptop, or mobile device, but will be muted until recognized by the board during the public comment period. The trustees will be unmuted for the duration of the meeting. So, and also please be aware, as it was mentioned in the beginning of the meeting, that the public portion of today's special meeting is being recorded. So, Our first.
Recognized by the board during the public comment period. The trustees will be unmuted for the duration of the meeting.
Okay, are we hearing my recording back?
Yes.
Am I the only one hearing that? Okay. All right, so the first item, the secretary of the board will now report on the emailing of the notice of this meeting in the presence of a quorum.
The special meeting is held pursuant to a notice thereof emailed on July 27, 2020 to each board trustee of record on July 27, 2020, who is entitled to a vote, including but not limited to trustees Judith Fitzgerald, Robert Allen, Owen Cook, Stephen Kenrick Lewis, Charmaine Spence Rochester, Jose Sebastro, and Jalila Parker. A list of board trustees entitled to vote at this special meeting has been available at the office of the president for the past 10 days and is now available on the university's website for examination by any member of the public desiring to do so. All documents concerning this special meeting and notice of the special meeting will be filed with the records for the special meeting.
Thank you, Secretary Paul. Can you please conduct the roll call?
Yes. Chair Lady Teresa Braswell,
Present.
Dr. Brenda Allen,
Present.
Mr. Robert Allen, Mr. Robert Archie,
Present.
Mr. Gerald Bruce,
Present.
Mr. Matt Coffin,
Present.
Honorable Andrew Denneman,
Present.
Mr. William Dunbar, Ms. Judith Fitzgerald, Mr. Demetrius Hutcherson,
Here.
Mr. James Jordan,
I'm present.
Mr. Henry Lancaster II,
Present.
Ms. Kimberly Lloyd,
Here.
Ms. Felicia McDade, Ms. Felicia McDade, can you?
Present.
Thank you. And this is Reverend Dr. Francis Paul, present. Mr. Kenneth Poole,
Present.
Ms. Sandra Simmons,
Present.
Dr. Deborah Thomas,
Present.
Mr. Kevin Vaughn,
Present.
Mr. Joseph Williams Jr., Mr. Joseph Williams Jr.,
It must be.
is can anyone see him? I know he was present. Hello? Okay, Chair Lady, he was present before. Just check him as present. I'm not sure since I can't see.
Present.
Okay, thank you.
Present.
Thank you so much. Mr. Gregory Works.
Present.
Thank you.
Present.
Ms. Elizabeth Bellevue.
Present.
Dr. Noe Ortega.
I'm here.
Present.
Present.
I'd like to also ask Faculty Representative Dr. Emmanuel Babatunde.
Present.
Thank you. And I know he's a faculty representative, non-voting. So I would like to note that we have 21 of the 23 total voting trustees on the call, and so we have a quorum, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you, Secretary Paul. And just for the public's purpose and the board, we will do a second roll call after we get through the first action item of the sitting of the trustees. I hereby declare quorum present at this meeting. On behalf of the Board of Trustees of Lincoln University, I would like to express my sincere appreciation for all of you in attendance. So the number's gone up from 331 to 360. And all the stakeholders who are viewing in the listening mode. So our first action item is acting on the seating of the Commonwealth trustees and the governor's representative. The university is in receipt of an appointment from the Governor of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania appointing Owen Cook to the Board of Trustees for Lincoln University, and Mr. Cook's appointment was confirmed by the Pennsylvania Senate. The university is in receipt of a second appointment from the Governor appointing Ms. Jalila Parker as his designee of the Board of Trustees. In addition to those two appointments from the Governor of Pennsylvania, the university has also received 3 additional appointments from the Pennsylvania House of Representatives, appointing Stephen Kimberly Lewis, Charmaine Spence Rochester, and Jose Sebastro. So I'll now recognize Trustee Simmons.
Madam Chairlady, I move the approval of the seating of the 4 Commonwealth trustees and the governor's designee with all privileges and emoluments associated with those appointments.
Madam
You've heard the
Chair,
motion. You've heard the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Trustee Francis Paul, I second the motion.
Are there any questions or discussion? Okay, Secretary Paul, can you conduct a roll call, please?
Yes. Chair Lady Teresa Braswell,
Yes.
Dr. Brenda Allen,
Yes.
Mr. Robert Archie,
Yes.
Mr. Gerald Bruce,
Call for the question.
Yes.
Mr. Matt Coffin,
Yes.
Honorable Angela Ingerman,
Yes.
Mr. William Dunbar,
You're muted. Can't hear you. You're muted
Yes.
he said yes.
or muted.
Mr.
Unmute your
Demetrius
phone.
Hutch- They told me that he said yes.
Yeah, you said yes.
Mr. Demetrius Hutcherson,
Yes.
Mr. James Jordan,
Yes.
Mr. Henry Lancaster, the second,
Yes.
Miss Kimberly Lloyd,
Yes.
Miss Felicia McDade, Miss Felicia McDade. Can someone see her?
Nope.
Continue with the roll call.
Okay. Francis Paul, yes. Mr. Kenneth Poole,
Yes.
Sandra Simmons,
Yes.
Dr. Deborah Thomas,
Yes.
Mr. Kevin Vaughn,
Yes.
Mr. Joseph Williams Jr.,
Present. Yes.
Mr. Gregory Works,
Yes.
Miss Elizabeth Bellevue,
Yes.
and Dr. Noe Ortega.
Yes.
And that, for what I heard, that gives us 20 out of the 21 voting trustees, Chair Lady.
Okay. Unanimous. This is the official welcome to the Commonwealth Trustees and the Governor's designee. Looking forward to your service. So, Madam Secretary, since we've included officially the
Chair Lady
Commonwealth,
Braswell,
yes,
point of order.
yes.
It seems that we've left off the student representative, Elizabeth Bellevue. She was not part of the roll call.
I took her vote. I took her name on the roll call, and I took her vote.
Yes, she
Okay.
voted. Thank you for that. Yeah, her voice is a little soft, so you probably didn't hear her, but she voted. Thank you. Okay, so we have a unanimous vote. Again, welcome, Commonwealth Trustees. Secretary Paul, can you include them and add them to the roll call? So they're officially documented as attendees.
And I have them, Chair Lady, and with them added, that gives us a total of 27. And I have them counted as present.
Okay.
If
All
you
right.
like, I can read over the whole, the roll call again if
You don't have to do
everybody.
everybody. I don't think we need to do everybody. Just call their
But I
names
have
and
Mr.
present, please.
Oh, okay. And so I have them, and I have Mr. Which I've added to it. It is Mr. Owen Cooks,
Present.
Stephen Lewis, Charmaine
Present.
Rochester.
Give them a
Thank you.
chance to say present.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Charmaine Spence Rochester.
Present.
I heard the phone, but
Present. Sorry.
yeah. And then Jose Sebastro.
Yes.
Thank you. And Jalila Parker.
Present.
Thank you so much. And I had noted them, Chair Lady, when you introduced all of them also. So now they have all been added to our official attendance for today as voting trustees.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Okay, so the next item is the action on rejection of letters of resignation submitted by trustees Judith Fitzgerald and Robert Allen. We entertain a motion for that.
So moved, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Trustee Archie.
And I second it.
That was Trustee Poole. Okay, thank you.
Right.
You heard the motion and the second. Is there any discussion or questions?
I do have discussion and question. This is Trustee Jordan. Based on this recommendation or this order to reject the resignations, what does that mean? Does that mean they have to be on the board moving forward? Does that mean they need to just be on the board for a short period of time? What does that order actually mean?
And I'll defer that comment, the response to our counsel, Tom Collins. Can you respond to that, please?
Yes, certainly. Trustee Jordan, it simply means that they had the letters of resignation that they had submitted had to be rejected for purposes of this meeting, and that they have to be reinstated to the position they were in prior to this meeting. They had to be afforded the opportunity to participate in the meeting and to vote at this meeting fully. My understanding is that they were provided notice of this meeting and they were invited to attend the meeting, and that we now need to, pursuant to Judge Mahone's July 24th order, reinstate them. That does not mean that they're not free to take action after this meeting on their own accord. It's just that they have to be placed back on the board for purposes of today's meeting.
Thank you for that clarification.
You're welcome.
Okay. Okay. Secretary Paul? The roll call vote? Yes.
Chair Lady Braswell.
Yes.
Dr. Brenda Allen.
Yes.
Mr. Robert Archie.
Yes.
Mr. Gerald Bruce.
Yes.
Mr. Matt Coffin.
Yes.
Mr. Owen J. Cooks.
Yes.
Honorable Andrew Denneman.
Yes.
Mr. William Dunbar. Mr. William Dunbar.
His mic is muted. He's muted. Can't hear him. Texting me that he's responding, but we can't hear him. He's muted.
Can he nod his head?
That would help. I think he nodded yes.
Okay. Mr. Demetrius Hutcherson.
Yes.
Mr. James Jordan,
Yes.
Henry Lancaster II,
Yes.
Mr. Stephen Kendrick Lewis,
Yes.
Ms. Kimberly Lloyd,
Yes.
Ms. Felicia McDade,
Yes.
Ms. Jalila. Oh, you said yes?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Ms. Jalila Parker,
Yes.
this is for Francis Hall. It's a yes. Mr. Kenneth Poole,
Yes.
Dr. Charmaine Rochester,
Yes.
Mr. Jose Sebastro,
Yes.
Ms. Sandra Simmons,
Yes.
Dr. Deborah Thomas,
Yes.
Mr. Kevin Vaughn,
Yes.
Mr. Joseph Williams Jr.,
Yes.
Mr. Gregory Works,
Yes.
Ms. Elizabeth Bellevue,
Yes.
and Dr. Noe Ortega.
Yes.
Chair Lady, we have that is 26 out of the 28 that we had on the record, because we had Robert Allen and we had Judith Fitzgerald. So 26 of the 28, or 26 who are present, and all 26 voted yes.
Okay, thank you. Unanimous. So I received a request from an observer. If Trustee Paul, if you can speak louder, and as well as the other trustees, if you can speak louder, they're having trouble hearing us. Okay, and so the third action item is the action on whether Dr. Brenda A. Allen should be extended a new employment agreement with the university. Several members of the public have requested to be heard on this important issue, and we will hear from them now. Actually, there's one that signed up, Mr. Ray Jeter. We will hear from him now before taking any formal action.
Can you hear me? All right.
Yes.
Good afternoon. Great. Good afternoon.
Hello.
First of all, I'd like to thank Chair Lady Braswell and the Board of Trustees for allowing me the time on the agenda. My name is Ray Jeter, and I'm a proud graduate of Lincoln University, class of 1979. I'm an active lifetime National Alumni member, as well as the current president of the AALU Pittsburgh chapter. Let me set the environment at Lincoln University when Dr. Allen first started. There were several executive administrator vacancies. There was an overdue accreditation. We had a board of trustees working through challenges, and on top of all that, a thin staff in need of training, development, and a vision. Now let's talk about what has occurred in the short time that she's been at Lincoln. Retention rates for first and second year students, as well as fourth year graduation rates, are all up. Alumni giving is up. The 2020 U.S. News and World Report ranked Lincoln in the top 20 historically black colleges and universities. Lincoln is ranked for the first time among the top 40 northern public institutions of the United States. And to cap it all off, Lincoln received a phenomenal review from the Mid-State Commissions on Higher Education Accreditation, which resulted in Lincoln's accreditation being reaffirmed. The report also noted that Lincoln University has undergone significant changes in programs, growth, and leadership since their last review. Numbers don't lie, and they all point up. Dr. Allen has demonstrated a willingness and an ability to lead change in the midst of chaos. She is effective and respected because of her accessibility. She encourages, empowers, and energizes others to maximize their individual and collective potential. Dr. Allen has introduced a new vision and a new strategic plan. Once again, accomplishing all of this within a short period of time is clearly a testimony to her leadership ability and proof that the university is moving in the right direction. Lincoln needs a leader who understands the complexities of the U.S. higher education enterprise and the world around us. In addition to these qualities, critically important is a leader's ability to imagine our possibilities for tomorrow and to navigate a path to achieve that vision. We must all pull together at this time to ensure that Lincoln makes it to the other side brighter and stronger. If we do not renew Dr. Allen's contract at this time, it would be a travesty as well as detrimental to the future of Lincoln University. Lincoln is a testimony to resilience, having survived for 166 years, and will survive this challenge with the right leadership. Dr. Allen's contract should be renewed to complete her vision and ensure that Lincoln University continues to move the legacy forward. I'd like to thank you for your time today, Lady Chair and Board of Trustees.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jeter. Well stated. Okay. Mr. Jeter was our first and last presenter. No one else has signed up for this particular meeting. And I would like to recognize Trustee Vaughn at this time.
Madam Chairlady, I move the board to authorize the respective attorneys for the board and Dr. Brenda A. Allen to begin immediately negotiations on terms and conditions for a new employment agreement for submission and consideration by the full Board of Trustees for approval or non-approval in a public meeting within 30 days from the date of this special board meeting.
I second the motion.
Okay. Thank you. Is there any question? Are there any questions or discussion? Hearing none. Secretary Paul, conduct a roll call, please. Secretary Paul. Oh, I hope you didn't drop off the phone.
I hope she didn't drop off again.
No, I'm here. I'm sorry. I was on mute. I have it that Trustee Kevin Vaughn moved. He made the motion, and it was seconded by Mr. Joseph Williams Jr.
No, William Dunbar.
William Dunbar.
That's the problem with not being able to see. Thank you so much. Well, I can see, but not being able to see you all. So, Mr. William Dunbar, thank you so much. I had to be certain of that. With that said, Chair Lady Teresa Braswell.
Yes.
Mr. Robert Archie.
Yes.
Mr. Gerald Bruce.
Yes.
Mr. Matt Coffin.
Yes.
Mr. Owen J. Cooks.
Yes.
Honorable Andrew Denneman.
Yes.
Mr. William Dunbar.
Yes.
Mr. Demetrius Hutcherson.
Yes.
Mr. James Jordan.
Yes.
Mr. Mr. Henry Lancaster II.
Yes.
Mr. Stephen Kenrick Lewis.
Yes.
Miss Kimberly Lloyd.
Yes.
Ms. Felicia McDade.
Yes.
Miss Jalila Parker.
Yes.
Thank you. And it's Reverend Paul, that's a yes. Mr. Kenneth Poole.
Yes.
Dr. Charmaine Spence Rochester,
Yes.
Mr. Jose Sebastro,
Yes.
Ms. Sandra Simmons,
Yes.
Dr. Deborah Thomas,
Yes.
Mr. Kevin Vaughn,
Yes.
Mr. Joseph Williams Jr.,
Yes.
Mr. Gregory Works,
Yes.
Ms. Elizabeth Bellevue,
Yes.
Dr. Noe Ortega,
Yes.
Dr. Noe Ortega.
Yes. My vote is yes.
Okay, thank you. With that said, I would like to state the obvious, Madam Chair Lady. We have a unanimous vote of yes.
Yes. Thank you, trustees, for your unanimous votes on all of our action items today. The next step will be, as Trustee Vaughn stated in the motion, to follow up with the attorneys for the board and for Dr. Allen to negotiate approval or non-approval of a contract. If there's no further business, this meeting is adjourned. It is 1:25, and I want to thank the stakeholders. We're actually up to 388 attendees now. I want to thank you all for sacrificing your time in the middle of the day to participate. We got to give you guys a clap up because you could have been eating lunch somewhere. You probably are still watching. Okay, so 1:25. Have a good evening. Have a good afternoon and good evening, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
guys.
Have a
All right.
blessed day.
Good night.
Everyone take care in these COVID times.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hi, and thank you.